I hope you enjoyed your holiday. I hope it was filled with family, friends, laughter, happiness, and joy. I hope you had a moment to reflect on all the people who care about you. But I also want you to know that I also understand that there's still a battle being waged deep inside you. I also want you to know that I know that even though those moments happen, there's still some bit of uncomfortability. But I must explain something to you. Take a second to think about all the people who had a chance to laugh at your presence. You didn't have to say anything. You didn't have to crack any witty jokes. You didn't have to give them any money or any gifts. You simply showed up, and the joy was upon them. And it's because you matter. It's because you are special. If you are thinking of harming yourself, please don't. Dial three numbers, not even anything that needed. Three numbers: 988. Tomorrow needs you. I need you. Your loved ones need you. Your friends need you. This world needs you. And with three numbers, you can make a decision that not only can you live with, but we all can live with. So before you do something that we can't live with, do something that you can and dial three numbers. Now let's talk football. Pride Nation, I'm back at it again. And I got something that's about to come out. I'm finna tell you right now. I tell people all the time that I don't mind my critics criticizing me. I don't mind people thinking that I'm absolutely crazy. I don't mind it at all because one of the things that I tell people is if you say something, it needs to age well. If you say something, it needs to age well. It can't just be good in that moment. It needs to be aged well, and it needs to have substance and proof behind what you say. Now, I've been debating on if I was going to let Patty Luke out or not. I'm debating on it. I was debating on if I was going to unleash that beast. I wasn't quite sure. But unlike many of you, the only thing I can tell you is I was disappointed in the game. But I have so much more to say. And I hope you are ready. I hope you got your volume up. I hope you are ready to rock and roll. Let's see who's in the building with us as we get ready to dive into Week 16's matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Carolina Panthers. We got my man Barberry Lion in the building. Friendly Neighborhood Lions fan is in the building. Nine Drinks. We got my man Craig Ferguson in the building. Joe Lewis is in the building. He says there was no effing way I was going to miss this one, and I'm off for 2 weeks. Let's go, Patty Luke. I'm debating if I'm going to unleash him or not. We got Big T in the building. Looney Tunes is in the building. Mike Kidd is in the building. Tactical Puma. Tim Hutchinson is in the building. My man Anthony. Hey, shout out to you and the family over there. Good people. Hope all is well. Evening, Luke. Hope you are having a great Christmas. Love to you and your family. Appreciate it, man. I am having an excellent Christmas. Hope you are having one too. Billy Vanderbilt, welcome to the show, brother. He's in the building with us. B for real's in the building. We have Noel in the building. He says, "Uh-oh, Luke. Yeah, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna try to be good today." We got my man Ron the Truth in the building, Black Spirit, and David Crow. If you in here, please hit the like button and put a comment in there so I can shout you out. Now, let me go through. Let me make sure. Ever since I had that stupid pandemic thing, my memory don't always serve me right. So let me make sure I ease into this. Simply put, I recall saying that the Lions needed linebackers, but wait a minute, linebackers don't matter. Go and name the linebackers from the Rams. Those didn't matter because those linebackers. Okay, no, having a moment. I was told the Lions don't need defensive backs. Now wait a minute. See, I've been telling people this, and it's not just this game, and I'm pretty sure I said, no, that's not it. I've been telling people that we could have did so many other things different with our draft room, but no. Great GM. He's doing an excellent job. Phenomenal. He's not the problem. It's all on the head coach. The coaching is the problem. That's what it is. Yeah. People, Let me get this goddamn link. I want to get this link because I need to hear from y'all today. I need to hear from y'all today because I'm disappointed. And I'm disappointed because I had real expectations. I didn't have that low end stuff that people was trying to skip over and just say, oh, I put something out there. No. I had real expectations. Not unrealistic, but real expectations. And I had them based on real logical reasonings. But no. People were allowed to sway opinions based on BS because it made them feel good. This is not Disney here. This is the Field Review. And I'm not here to make you feel good unless there's a real reason to make you feel good. And I'm just simply saying, my, how things keep changing. I remember as recent as me saying, hey, I'm happy we won. I'm happy our playoff hopes are still alive. I'm happy that they found a way to win. But I was told I was overreacting about the Jets win. And I told you, a win is not a win when I'm watching our team play down to a team. I told you, a win is not a win when you're refusing to target Sauce Gardner. But J.C. Horn is fair game. The hell is going on here? A win is not a win when you're watching your team play down to an opponent. And that's not acceptable. That's not what we should be doing. That's not how it's supposed to be playing out. And it's disgusting because the reality is this. What you saw on Saturday was just the beginning of why I've been on a particular person's head. I'm convinced that not only is Glenn Dorsey doing more of the work behind the scenes than I thought, I'm convinced that there's only one way possible that this cannot be true. And I want so bad not to go full a-hole in it. I want so bad not to be a full patty douchebag. But the reality is this. What I say often age well. And I told people, you need linebackers. Well, we got Enrod. He's replaceable. There ain't a single team outside of the Lions that he would have started on if they didn't have an injury. If those same teams would have drafted him, he would not have been a starter. That's just facts. And that's just the truth. And the Lions go out there and lay a stinker. And what happened to them on Saturday was worse than what happened to them against New England. I see you back there, D-Map. I'm going to bring you in. Just give me a second. I got to set the table. Never have guests over without having a clean house, food, and a nice set table. What you saw here wasn't a lack of effort. No. What you saw here didn't have anything to do with cold weather. No. What you saw here was your team's skill set coming out again. That's what you saw. If you go through the season, the best game they played defensively, everybody would say was the Jets game. Failing to bring up the fact that the Jets offense is hot garbage. They failed to talk about that. What you saw here was a lack of you having a team with no depth at dogs on your defense. Don't tell me we got dogs on this Lions defense. Don't tell me your general manager is making all these things. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me, J-Mo's doing so great. One target. He's taking the top off. Yeah, okay. And if he's taking the top off, I'm a Nigerian Caucasian prince. If we're going to lie about it, let's lie together. It's not just this game, people. You saw it at the beginning of the season. Go back. Look at the 1-6 start. How many of those games was lost because of offense? How many of those games were lost because of offense? You wondering why we in the same place. I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to bring D-Map in. Map, let me know you ready. I see your camera kind of froze. I hope you still good. I'm going to bring you in. Patty Grimes said, well, you a Nigerian prince. That's okay. I'm gonna be that. But what I say, age well. All right, let me see. D-Map. Oh, the camera froze. He not ready. Let me set this up for y'all. See, sometimes I believe you have to relive the trauma to understand what the hell a person is talking about. Right? Giovanni says no notification. Try undoing it and redoing it again. That should hopefully fix it. All right. We got to relive some stuff. For a lot of people who have already mailed the season in, more power to you, right? But my problems are bigger than that. I want y'all to take this in for a moment. All right. I got a serious question. It's not even a game. I have a very serious question. 320 yards. How many games worth of yards of rushing is that? How many games? Realistically. And just in case you was wondering what the average was, it was about 75 yards a game. So how many games is 320 yards of rushing? I want y'all to think about that for a moment. Let me see if you're ready. D-Map. Oh, he's still not ready. Still not ready. All right. We give him a minute. How many games worth of rushing do you see there? I mean, hell, if you did 100 yards rushing, you know that's 3 off rip. Right? Now, the question becomes, how do you feel about that rushing when I tell you that 240 of it came in 2 quarters? 30 minutes of football, 240 rushing yards came. Think about it. Linebackers don't matter. We got Malcolm Rodriguez, a guy who can be upgraded, easily replaced. We got Ellis Anzalone, guy who should never been brought back. Why in the hell can't we get Derek Barnes really on the field? Y'all laughed at me about Jared Davis, but he's a run stopper. Okay. I mean, were there bright spots in that game? Yep. I saw some bright spots. But it reared its ugly head again. Let's see. D-Map, you ready? D-Map. Nope, not right. I don't know what's going on, bro. Now, this is the problem that I have. We get to look at this because I want you to take that in. Watch what happened when I slide this over just a little bit. Our leading rusher was Jared Goff. Jared Goff. I'm going to tell you why this is insulting. Because while people may look at this and say, well, they ran the ball 17 times, Luke, go and look at the reality of what really happened. Let's get to the reality of what really happened. Let's break it on down with the play-by-play calling of what really happened. Let's see. Here we are at the top of this thing. It's 1st and 10. I don't know, right here, just in case y'all not seeing it. We right here. 1st and 10. My man Herbert. Chuba Herbert. 30-yard run. Opening play. 30-yard run. And don't get me started on Iffy. We're going to leave that alone. And then you get to this one. 1st and 10. But wait, there's a false start. So it's 1st and 15. No problem. Chuba Herbert up the middle. Up the middle. For 35 yards. They've already covered half the field in 2 plays. And they didn't even put the ball in the air. Let's keep going. They come back with a no huddle. 1st and 10. Up the middle for 5 yards. They still ain't quite feeling themselves yet. 2nd and 5. Where do they go? Off right tackle for 6 yards. Okay. And before you know it, touchdown. Ha! What a glorious thing to see. Essentially covered the field in 3 damn plays. Wow. But we don't need linebackers. I'm tripping about us taking a damn hurt receiver 12th overall. We traded up 20 spots and we only gave up a 3rd-round pick. This is bull. He can't help you right now. You had a schedule that was favored for you with 9 games at home against opponents who are in the middle of a rebuild. And even with that rebuild, some of them people beat you, including this team, who I still can't name what they do better than us until they showed up and did it better than us. Your head coach who got fired after 1 year on another team becomes interim coach, gonna get fired at the end of the season on this team, and you go out and lose like that? Oh no, but you don't take this draft positional value. Positional value. You realize Jordan Davis was selected 13th overall directly after you took that hurt-ass receiver? You realize that? And the only reason I can talk about that is simply because he can't help us right now. And if your argument is well, the quarterback can't get him the ball. Who can get him the ball when he gets 1 snap or 2 snaps? Who's getting him the ball? Stop making up these narratives in your head about things that are just simply not true. But let's look at the Lions, because this is where I get annoyed at. It's 1st and 10. Pass. See, we talk about Ben Johnson, but we don't want to talk about Ben Johnson. 2nd and 10. Pass. We can't talk about Ben Johnson because we're too focused on the head coach. 3rd and 10. Pass. We can't talk about Ben Johnson because guess what? He's untouchable because we're so focused on Aaron Glenn. It's 1st and 10. Pass. You want to see why you lose a game? Your foundational work was some bullshit. Let's keep going. 2nd and 6. Finally, get a run with St. Brown. 3rd and 6. Pass. You literally are passing on passing downs. 1st and 10. Finally, we get a run for 1 yard. 2nd and goal, we get the touchdown. Yes. And now you get a chance to get the ball back. After getting them go 3 and out and punting. We get here, and I just want you to see how they call it. Run on 1st and 10. Yes. 2nd and 7. Pass. Okay. 1st and 10. Run. Okay. 2nd and 7. Pass. Great. Pay attention to the pattern because it's not just me making it up. I'm reading it as it actually happened. 1st and 10. Pass. 1st and 10 again. Run. He literally had a fucking thing. Literally. And it's not just this game. I was trying to say this until the end of the year, but it's not just this game. Go back and look at the play calling. It's run, pass, run, pass, run, pass, or it's pass, 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 run, run, pass, 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 run, run. Whatever. Let's keep going. He didn't call a good game today. That's part of the bad. Now, obviously, at this point, 2nd and 11, pass. 1st and 10, run. 2nd and 14, pass. 3rd and 14, pass. 4th and 1, reported as an eligible Jameson Williams, left guard. Okay. 1st and 10, run. 2nd and 6, pass. And on this play right here, 1st and goal, they was trying to call a run, in my opinion, but the snap was bad. Frank Ragnow. And everything from here on after went downhill. So let me put it back on the screen because I want y'all to know that when you see 17 rushing attempts, it was not done appropriately. Okay? I want you to understand that both of these were career days for both of these running backs. They were averaging 7.9 and 10.4 for this game. They're running RPOs with freaking Sam Darnold. They're running RPOs with Sam Darnold. Here's my truth. Stop telling me we don't need linebackers. Stop telling me we don't need freaking safety help. Don't tell me that I've lost my damn mind. And this is a very good question. How many games would it take for the Lions to get 320 yards rushing? This is crazy. No gaps were being filled, even when they were being created. And when they wasn't, they got out-muscled up front. This is why I get pissed off about our general manager. This is what it is. And if you don't believe me, if you think I'm joking, if you think that I just made this up, if you think that, I'm picking this opportunity to shoot on it, no. Because there were some good things in that game. James Houston was a good pick by Brad Holmes. And he showed up in that game. But it's only so much you can do when you get to run the damn ball up the middle. It's only so much you can do when I got to watch a rookie on another rookie and he can't get around him. And we took him second overall. And in case you were wondering, that first play that broke off of Chuba, yeah, that was right off of Aiden Hutchinson's side. And that wasn't the only play. All this talk about the ball hawk that Kirby is. This is why I said wait 3 years. But what I'm talking about ain't got nothing to do necessarily with the players. It's how he negated to fix the biggest problem on this damn team. That's my problem. There ain't a linebacker on this team that we cannot upgrade. Please try and tell me. Every linebacker on this team is replaceable. Every defensive back on this team is replaceable. And yeah, I'm including Walker in there too, but that's not his problem. Walker was still better than what I'm getting from the rest of these people. You finally put Iffy in, but guess what? Iffy didn't even look like he was ready. Because maybe, here's a thought, maybe he should have been playing corner, and the goddamn dude who's having a hard time playing corner in Okudah need to go to fucking safety. But nope, I digress, because let me say that, and I'm still crazy. This is a huge loss. There is nothing worse than you knowing that I'm going to run the ball on you and there's nothing you can do about it. You talking about mano y mano, fisticus to fisticus. You talking about strength on strength, and I just did it. You couldn't do nothing about it. Them hoes were more open than a freaking female porn star and a gangbang. It was ridiculous. Let me give you some more truth. See, sometimes people like to call me crazy. I don't mind it. I know my shit gonna age well. This right here, I want to make sure y'all understand it. This is 2020. Here go another truth for you. I don't know if y'all paid attention to it. I got told I was crazy for wanting to fire a particular head coach after the first year. Meanwhile, the Denver Broncos did it after 15 games. Shocking. Okay. But you can't do that, Luke. That's ludicrous. Okay. More and more teams are willing to admit when they wrong. But it takes 3 years here in Detroit. Got it. All right, let's bring it back. Here's 2020. In case you think I'm bullshitting, Matt Patricia only did 4-7. Darrell Bevell ended up being 1-4. They finished 5-11. Why are you here, Luke? What's the big deal with this? Let me bring it on down and let you show. What did the defense rank? 32nd in points, 32nd in yards. What are they passing in yards and touchdowns? 30 and 32. What are their issues in rushing? 29th in rushing attempts, the defense, and 28 in yards. Couldn't stop a damn nosebleed, right? Let's go to the first year, right? Just so you know, you can see it right here. Dan Campbell's the head coach. They finished 3-13-1. Everybody wants him fired. They want to blame everybody but the general manager. We don't blame Anthony Lynn. We don't blame Dan Campbell. We don't blame Aaron Glenn. But we damn sure can't blame the general manager. But let's look at the facts. What the defense is? 31. From 32 to 31. Good improvement. Not significant, but an improvement. From 32 to 29. Okay. But what do you know? That rush defense was still a problem last year. It's almost like Luke saw this and said, we need to really do something that in his second year to fix the defense. While we out here giving out A grades for a draft because we got a receiver. 29th in rushing attempts, 28th. So the rushing defense is still hot garbage. But Luke, he took 10 of his 15 picks on defense. And one of them was a high pick. All the rest were mid-late round guys, and most of them not even playing because they hurt. Let's fast forward to 2022, where they're 7-8. Now that's 2 whole years now. 2 whole years of history. 1 year under Brad Holmes. But that's history that Brad Holmes knew coming in here. So let's get on down here to it. What do you know? Defense not looking good. And they still stuck versus the run. But they took no. See, I know this is wrong. Because they fixed these problems. Me, Mike, TA, and every other comparable person out there kept telling you we need goddamn linebackers. We need safety and DB help. We need this draft to be all defense. And y'all gave out an A grade because he took a hurt receiver who's fast and can take the top off. Like you didn't know who your quarterback was. If you had Stafford, I'd have been like, hell yeah. If you had Patrick Mahomes, hell yeah. If you had Josh Allen, hell yeah. But he's hurt. And on top of him being hurt, let me give you some more truth. Why I hated the fucking pick. Not because I think the players suck, not because I think the player's not going to be good, but because I think that the player doesn't really offer you what you needed for this year, which is somebody to be an immediate starter, particularly on defense. Let's talk about his first game. You know what? See, I know how this works. If I speak it, it's not real. That's what that is. I can't speak it. I have to show you. And I got the link in there because I want people to come in and speak their truth. But I'm doing this because I feel that there's a certain point where at some point we just got to stop lying to ourselves. We just got to stop doing it. What happened on Saturday was worse than what happened against New England. And that's just facts. That is just the facts. So let me show you. Jameson Williams' first game back, which by the way, I told y'all he wasn't going to be back until November. I was wrong. He came back in December. So I was wrong. I'll eat crow on that. All right. We don't have no dogs on this team, TA. We ain't got no dogs on this team. I dare somebody to come in here and tell me that and name Aiden Hutchinson as a dog. But every time I turn around in big games, he disappear. Ain't no dogs on this team. They knew coming in that the worst part of this team was defense in 2020. And they knew that from the 4 years or 3 years or however many years you gave Patricia. They knew that from 2020, 2019, 2018, that the worst parts of this team was defense. And you got here and doubled down on a damn quarterback. And if you think this is the worst part of it, here's the scary part. The Packers won. They now have the same record, but you beat them. So they get to sit behind you. The Bears feel like they can play with anybody right now. And you still got to win out and need somebody to lose. And I'm only frustrated. Because guess what? I saw it coming. I just did not think it was going to come against this team. I figure a division opponent, okay, cool. But this team, Sam freaking Darnold, and this team, Steve Wilks at the. Let's take a look at this. We took Jameson Williams, and y'all gave it an A. That man took 8 snaps on offense. 8 snaps on offense. If you want to know a comparison to how many that is, I can show you so many people. I was talking to Dr. Detroit. Shout out to him. Hope he listened. Hope he come in so we can talk. And he was telling me, like, would you want him to take Amon-Ra St. Brown's spot? Nope. Amon-Ra can stay right there where he's at the 2 or in the slot. But what I'd like to know is if he's not taking Amon-Ra's spot, because Amon-Ra can stay in the slot, and you got Chark at the outside and he's healthy, why is he not a starter? And then so far, he's come back and hasn't started a single game. So it's either one or two things. One, he's still freaking hurt, and this is why he can only run straight routes, because he doesn't feel comfortable yet to cut. And something tells me that might be the truth, because guess what I happen to notice? Is that when I went back and looked at some of the all-22s for the Panthers game, I happened to notice that not only was he not doing all those quick cuts and stuff like that, but that the defense didn't even worry about him doing it. So he plays 8 snaps, he gets 1 target. And then the next week comes along, he plays 13 snaps. He gets two passes. He catch 1 for 41 yards and a touchdown, and everybody go nuts and shoot up my goddamn Instagram, Twitter, Discord, and everything else, DMs, telling me about this is why you took him. And I'm explaining to them, you realize that was such a blown coverage that any of us could have did it, but I'm happy he made the play. I want my team to win. But that whole game, he got targeted 2 times and got a catch. The next week against the Jets, because they were too afraid to test him out, or anybody for that matter, against Sauce Gardner. And when I called it out, I was calling because it's a win. Just celebrate the win. Okay. You act like it's going to be every game. I ain't said it's going to be every game, but they can't play like this the next week. Whoa. What do you know? They did. And he gets 13 snaps again. 1 target. No catch. And then against Carolina, 11 snaps, 1 target, no catch. So we trade up 20 spots, give up an extra draft pick for a pick to play in 2023. Got it. This is about long-term building, Luke. I got it. Wait till you see the schedule next year. Wait till you see the schedule next year. The link is in the description. Feel free to join me and stop me if you think I'm talking crazy. Feel free. Jump in. I'm all ears. All I'm pointing out to you is you have an opportunity to fix the biggest problem on your team. From 2020, defense. From 2019, defense. From 2018, defense. From 2021, defense. Here we are in 2022, your second year. And to the people who say you can't get it all done in 1 year, can you do it in 2? Taking Penei Sewell was a no-brainer. It was like taking Ndamukong Suh at 2 or Calvin Johnson. It's a no-brainer. What about the rest of them picks? Because Iffy looks out of place. Right now, looking at this season, who in the hell are you re-signing on that defense to bring back that's up for contract? Who? My man Zaquay, did I say that right? Zaquay? This ain't Madden. You don't just plug and play receivers. Amon-Ra took 8 games to start going off. That's not true. That's not true. In fact, Amon-Ra was getting off. They were too busy targeting everybody else. That's just the facts. It wasn't until they realized, oh, it's a thing right here really happening. Yeah, that's just the facts. Amon-Ra was balling from day one. Don't believe me? Go back. You can look at the box score. You can look at the films. It all match up. He was balling from day one. and they was not targeting him. It wasn't until they realized, oh, we really got something here. It didn't take them long to acclimate. I'm not asking him to do anything special. I'm not asking him to do anything outrageous. But you mean to tell me that I can't get a goddamn slant route from him? If you go back and look at most of his games at Alabama, I can't say Ohio State, he don't rep them. But look at all his games for Alabama. Most of those passes were slants and short routes that he took the distance, with an occasional deep route here and there. But it's not about the player that I have an issue with. My issue is you took a player you're not using. That's my issue. You took a guy that you're not using. When we needed defensive help. That's the problem. And I'm with you on this, TA. We're not gonna act like Chuba and Foreman was some second coming of freaking Barry Sanders and Bo Jackson. We ain't finna do that. We've stopped better. But the problem is this. Some teams understand certain things. And what they understood about us was, hey, if we run these trap plays, these linebackers don't do a good job filling. And now when the linebackers start panicking, guess what the D-line started doing? Trying to overcompensate. Oh, but they double teaming Aiden. No, it's not. There's a scheme thing where they'll sit there and do a combo block, not because they want to double team the guy because he's a threat. He's not Aaron Donald. They doing it because they're trying to set up their runs, and it worked. It wasn't like they just came out and was like, we're going to double team Aiden. That's not what happened. I'm watching these games closely. I go back and rewatch them because I can't believe half the stuff I see. They're just running combination blocks to set their play up. And then what happens is y'all go to Pro Football Focus, and then Pro Football Focus tell you where he's getting double teamed the most of it, and then y'all run with it. Just like how they told you that Kirby was the second best safety in the league. And then they came back a week later and said Kyle Hamilton was the first best, and I called bullshit on both. I just don't understand. If you're going to take the person, use him. And if he's still hurt, then let his ass sit. Remember, I said at this point, what you playing him for? I'm not asking them to do anything. I'm saying we could have did something to fix a 5-year-old problem. Think about it, right? And me and Dr. Detroit talked about this. When I asked this question, Aiden Hutchinson is the only instant starter. Every other player we took will only get in if somebody was hurt. When they took Jameson Williams, who was he supposed to be the instant starter over? Keep in mind he had an injury. So the answer is simple. No one. He was hurt. You took Pascal. Who was he supposed to take? You want to tell me Michael Brockers? Because I can tell you that's BS. He was never going to take that spot. Hell, I wonder why they went out and got Kaminsky. Why they kept adding other D tackles to try to fix this problem. Oh, well, he was hurt. Oh, okay. So another hurt player, Grand. Oh, but he didn't get hurt until when? Oh, got it. Okay. He still wasn't taking nobody's spot. He was only getting in games because Romeo was out. Romeo healthy. Look who's back in the starting lineup. If Charles Harris was still healthy, he would have still not been starting. When you go through and you look at the linebackers, let's talk about our next pick after that. Kirby. Who was Kirby gonna take? Whose spot was he brought in to take as a 3rd round pick? Tracy Walker? They went out and added a whole nother damn safety and Elliott, and they really thought, okay, well, Elliott gonna get hurt. They knew. But again, this is another detriment to the general manager, another hurt player. Was he taking his spot? Nope. Nope. You want to tell me about the tight end? Whose spot where they drafted him was he supposed to take? Oh, but Luke, he's only a 5th round pick. Again, whose spot was he going to take? He ain't even a starter now. We don't even got a TJ Hockenson. Luke, you're not being fair. This is an out of the park draft. Yeah, we got 3 more. I got 2 more years to see it. But I knew off rip certain things that were factual. Malcolm Rodriguez, only team he was starting on in the NFL in his rookie season was Detroit. He wouldn't have started on no other team. And trust me, I've sat with people and had them go through and look. I had one person who convinced me of maybe one other team. So, okay. So, the 2 teams. Got it. That's your problem, people. Defense. Every major loss we ever had was lost by defense. The offense, for the most part, has given you everything it could. But our biggest problems come in that defense. Dr. Detroit, what's going on, my brother? The link is up there. I hope you join me. He says, you don't run J Moore across the middle in the NFL, he will die. I mean, a little bit dramatic, but that's okay. He needs space. And he was brought here to take the top off of the defense. We just haven't hit him or underthrew him. If you watch most of his games at Alabama, they were all short routes taking the distance. That's just, I can't make that up. Like TA, you finna get in trouble. Don't say TJ Hockenson is balling with Minnesota because people already want to try to justify that he ain't. So we're gonna leave that alone. J-Mo has 5 targets and has been open at least 3 of them. 2 of them should have been touchdowns. Okay. So let's say I agree with you on that, right? He got 5 targets. 2 of them should have at least been touchdowns on 5 targets. Here's the problem. You took the guy 12th overall after you traded a 3rd round pick, moved up 20 spots to get him. He becomes healthy, and somehow, some way, you could only target him 5 times. 5. And all 5 of those passes were fades or streaks, not making up a damn thing. His numbers is so low, it won't even show on next gen stats. Think I'm lying? Go and try and do it. Go and try and do it. He don't even got anything to show up on next gen stats. He's got 5 targets, 41 yards, and a touchdown. So let's say I follow your logic, Titan, and I give them an additional touchdown. He's still off schedule. Foot Clan says Pascal Cowboy game tape looked good. I'm in agreement with you. It did. We still didn't get a starter. And a defensive heavy. Listen, Jordan Davis was taken after Jameson Williams. Devin Lloyd. I would rather have Quay Walker right now than Jameson Williams. I feel that Quay Walker would give us more than what Jameson Williams is giving us. They just not using him. And I'm not calling nobody a bust. I'm not doing that. I'm saying I just need y'all to see that the problem starts with the general manager. That's where the problem starts at. That's where it starts at. And 100% enjoy Detroit. He said you can't blame the player. I don't blame him. What I'm saying is they are purposely, in my opinion, and I could be wrong about this. They are purposely saving that man for next year. Why are you even playing him at this point? They're purposely saving Jameson Williams for next year. So essentially, you drafted Jameson Williams for next year. 20 spots in a draft piece for a guy for next year. Everything was trash, Mike Kidd. Coaching was trash. Getting players was trash. Like I don't even want to talk about how many times I watched outside containment be lost. But they were running the ball up the middle. They were doubling down on McNeil, and they had one guy who would kick out Ayton and kick out Kaminsky and run right behind it. Trap plays for the most part. Every time I thought we had a chance to get the ball back, they break off a big run. Then all of a sudden, they break off a big run, they give a big pass. I've been bitching all season about the big pass. They still doing it. They still giving up big passes. This game was an embarrassment. And it was disgusting because you literally, like, think about this. Even Sam Darnold had more rushing yards than your best running backs and stuff because you didn't give him the ball. Your leading rusher for Saturday was Jared Goff. DeAndre Swift, 4 carries, 12 yards. Kyle Sway. Jamal Williams, 7 carries, 11 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown get a carry. Khalif Raymond get a carry. Justin Jackson get a carry. Your leading rusher was Jared freaking Goff. Meanwhile, back in Smallville over here, you got 2 men with career days. 2. 320. And you go to the passing. I've been praying for a game like this. In the game against the Commanders, I'm like, why are we throwing the ball almost 40 times in the game that we had under control the whole time? I was told, be nice. It's a win. Cool. I follow instructions. Not today. And the next time I point out, I make an observation about a win, please spare me all the other antics. I want our team to be great. You can't do that with lying to yourself. They had Sam Darnold looking like he was freaking Joe Montana. Like he was finna be the next Patrick Mahomes. Deep bum at the deep bum at the deep bum, and it wasn't a safety in area. And for somebody coming here and say, well, they were running a lot of zero blitzes. Now, why didn't they put more people in the box? You let a team who could not really do anything better than you do everything better than you. They outcoached you. They outran you, outpassed you, outdefensed you. What did you do good? You couldn't even force Sam Darnold to have to be the hero. We've been watching this all season. And it started years ago in 2020 when they had problems against the run. When his first season come around, they still had problems against the run. Here we are this time where it's different. It was quarterbacks. It was not. We started tightening up on defense and we started winning. That's where you saw the difference at. Now watch what's going to happen. Next year, you're going to have 8 home games, 9 road games. You're going to have a much tougher schedule. And then on top of all that, what you're going to see coming up down the pipeline real fast, real fast. What you're going to see coming down the pipeline real fast. It's not all of a sudden the offense is not going to be putting up a lot of points. They're just not. And the defense will then finally be sparking, but then now the offense won't be able to score. This is our history. This is our history. We fix one problem, the other problem go untested. So far, all the resources have been given to improve Jared Goff. Fine. Fine. But the reality is this. Your problems showed its ugly face again because of defense. James Houston, believe it or not, on all them passing downs, was getting home. He was getting around the corner, getting ready to make the play. Ball would be out. Receiver by his lonesome. Receivers all by himself. I got running backs getting checked out of the backfield by linebackers I never even heard of and don't even know how to pronounce their damn name for Fufu, whatever your goddamn name is. And here go the other part. If there was ever a game when you needed a tight end to be there, it was this and the Jets. And even that wasn't enough. And I know the final score looks different, but that's not enough. So I ask you, how many games is 320 yards for a team? I ask you, why are we losing these games? And I dare you to tell me it's not defense. I dare you to tell me that it's not defense. We can talk about coaching all you want. But the reason why the Denver Broncos fired their head coach in his first season after only 15 games is because he came from the Green Bay Packers as an offensive coordinator. And the offense on Denver stunk. And yes, most of it was because of Russell Wilson himself. But guess what? That was the guy who he wanted. That was the one that they pushed for. Let's get this guy who can do it. And he's fired because he didn't maintain his side of the ball. Now ask yourself this question. What side of the ball would you think Dan Campbell is mostly related to? And if your answer come up offense, this is why I don't blame him. But when it comes to getting the groceries, I know who I can blame. I know who I can talk to, and it starts with the general manager. Because I got year after year that show it. J-Mo was open by 10 yards. Pat, they underthrew him by 10 yards. It doesn't matter. They're still not using him enough. 5 targets in 4 games is not enough. It's just not enough. The defense has been your biggest problem all season. And I saw it. I saw it. With all these cheap-ass deals when he brought back Alex Anzalone. I saw it. I just knew he was getting the damn DB. I even thought, when he talked about the home time, I said, look, my soul tells me that we go on Sauce Gardner. But no, they went with the feel-good story. He from Michigan, and he the feel-good story. Okay, cool. Sauce Gardner from Michigan. He was in Detroit, went to Detroit King High School. You needed help in the secondary. You needed linebackers. And for 2 seasons, you haven't addressed it. Now, here go the scary part for you. Watch this. Y'all ain't going to like this right here. If you got coffee, you might want to switch to some tea. You ain't going to like this. Now, as he sit up there with these draft picks, how many of those people do you think are going to be all defense? Because I can show you right now, he's got to get a guard. He's going to add another tight end. He's got to figure out if he's going to re-sign Chalk or not. And given the fact that it took Chalk a whole $10 million fully guaranteed to come here, chances is he's probably going to take another receiver. So you got at least 3 to 4 more offensive players coming this draft. Get ready for that one. Get ready for that one. Next year, we play the AFC and NFC South. Okay? Next year, they get a chance to retool. Like, everybody gets a chance to retool. And I guarantee you're still going to walk out with 9 road games. to your 8 home. You had 9 home games this year. That's 9 advantages that you should have took advantage of. I'm not buying that they was cold and didn't want to play in cold weather. That had nothing to do with it. They got out muscled. They got out physical. And the scary part is they got out coached. They knew how to attack our weaknesses, and they did it better. You know why? Because I watched those other games, even when we won. The only reason those other teams couldn't run the way that they ran on us was because we got up on them quickly and fast, and it took the run out the game early. We couldn't stop that run if you gave it Robitussin. Okay, that goddamn run was terribly open. They didn't even have to really throw the ball. They didn't. Black Spirit says, no, we play the AFC West. Whoever you play, they get to retool, right? They get to retool just like we get to retool. And you're probably going to end up playing them on the road. This is the second damn time the Panthers don't embarrass the fuck out of us. In a short period of time. Think about that. 2020 Matt Patricia. You thought it couldn't get no worse. This was worse than that ass whooping. I'll never forget this. I learned this as a kid all the way until I played in college. You want to really just make somebody look like they don't deserve to be on the field with you? Run the ball down their damn throat. And then do it again. And then do it again. We ain't had a game yet where we done ran the damn ball 43 damn times. So, I put the link in the description. I put the link if you want to come in and call me full of crap today. It's there. I put it in there. They ran the damn ball right up the middle. Right up the middle. This is the most demeaning loss I've seen in a long time. Right up the middle, and you couldn't do nothing about it. They got so cocky, it was like, I want to say it was like 3rd and 14 or 17 or something like that. Broke it up the middle for a long run. Even down to the end of the game, we trying to get a stop. Run up the middle. Like, I can't make this up. This is the most demeaning loss I have seen in a long time. In a long time. And it's because they had 240 yards at halftime. Halftime. 240 yards at halftime. I want y'all to think about that. Y'all love telling me I'm wrong. Y'all love telling me I'm overreacting to enjoy the win. Y'all love telling me I've lost my mind. That Detroit says there was not a linebacker there for us to take. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if there's a linebacker for you to take. Because remember, they had 5 picks in the top 97. It ended up being like 4 at the trade. Now, according to you, there was no one there for us to take. Not, and to keep in mind, when you say that, I'm also looking at free agency. I'm looking at it all. I mean, for somebody to come in here and say, oh, well, like you can say that this, you can say, oh, well, it's not fair. Now, Footland Clan says we're 7-8 in year 2 of a rebuild. You can't take away from that, bro. I'm not taking away from it. This is the difference. Okay, understand some people. I am not taking away from what we have achieved. I am being an objective observer of what happened on Saturday. And what happened on Saturday has been happening since 2018. Let me bring a guest in. Let me bring a guest in. Then I'll show my proof about there wasn't nobody there to take. Oh, he bounced out. We give him a minute. I'm not taking away from it. They 7-8. They should have easily been about 10, 11 wins at this point if they had fixed the problem from 5 years ago. Let me bring my guest in. My man, Michael.
What's up?
Mike.
My name. It was really good holiday.
Matter. Jesus Christ, help me.
I'm just telling you right now, we don't need linebackers.
No, we don't.
Linebackers is a position that's being pushed away. We're okay with what we have. We got an okay cast. We don't need to even ever draft a linebacker. Ever.
No,
I'm telling you that right now.
My boy Joseph says second year of the rebuild, and YouTube guy says you did it wrong. Okay, well.
Your opinion doesn't matter.
No, listen.
Why have a YouTube channel?
No, listen.
Why?
If I believe everybody's entitled to their truth, but you can't.
No, you have to agree with me. If you don't, you don't know football.
You don't know football. This is what year, Mike?
Yep.
2020.
This is definitely the year 1700. And
Now watch this. Watch this, Mike. Watch this. The second year of a rebuild. Many of the teams that are in the rebuild whooped your ass already. Let's get that out the way. So we can stop that one.
I have no idea. I just seen you live, so I don't know what you've already said. But I'm expecting that you're a little upset that we got our ass kicked.
I'm very disappointed because this was the worst way you could ever lose a game. They had 240 yards at halftime, bro. At halftime.
320 yards rushing, man. That's not that bad.
For the game, though. For the game. Like, it was literally, and it wasn't like they were calling gadget plays. It was straight line up and in your face up the gut. It wasn't even close.
Man. Those holes were giant. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was absolutely stunned. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on here. I've never seen this before.
I literally told somebody. This is exactly what I told them. I said, I want you to know that they had 124 yards of passing in the first half, where the quarterback was 8 for 12. And they had 22 rushing attempts for 240 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first half. In the first half.
Whoa, I'm seeing the comment section. What did you do, man? I have no idea what went on besides the point when I jumped on, but I see a lot of people are upset. What did you do, dog?
Listen, some people can't handle the truth.
What'd you say? Do a synopsis of what you've said because I have no idea.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because here's the reality: we can say what we want, but from 2020, the worst part of this team was the defense. Right? 2020, that was the Matt Patricia's last year, was the worst part of this team was the defense. They was even bad against the run. That's all evident. It's on the screen. You can see it. 2021, worst part of this team, defense. And they were bad against the run.
Look, we got to get better this offseason. We definitely have to, upgrade the linebacker position. I think free agency and the draft. I think we got to go in there and get this thing taken care of. Now, thankfully, we do got the draft capital to take care of defensive line, linebacker, and corner. I think corner's a need as well. But we gotta really like Brad Holmes, and I do think he's gonna do this. So, folks, if you're a little bit worried, I think he understands this defense is gonna be it's gonna be changed up a little bit. And there's some quality players out there in the draft as well as free agency. To me, like you, and I'm sure a lot of people in there, I think the number one priority is linebacker. defensive line, linebacker, and I think corner too. I think we really need help there. Yeah, and there's a ton. This is a great draft. I don't know if you've done your prospects yet, Luke, or if you looked at any of these guys.
I did. I'm doing my research, but I haven't I don't talk draft until it's time to talk draft, and it ain't time just yet, in my opinion.
Yeah, so you've touched base, but for everybody out there, if you love edge and corner, you're going to be really happy because this is filled with a ton of talent. So you're going to be able to get some there.
Let me bring in our next guest. He hasn't been on the show in a long time, and I'm happy to see him on the show. I hope he had a good holiday, but I'm going to ask him myself. My man TA from Raw Detroit's on the building. What's going on, sir?
What's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. Listen,
what's going on, brother? What's going on?
Holiday, man?
TA?
What's going on? What's going on, man? The holiday was beautiful, man.
Beautiful. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the positive side. Because look, right now, I'm already pissing people off. And all I'm doing is pointing out facts. The biggest problem with this team has been defense. We spent all season saying linebackers matter. Oh, you don't know. You look at the last Super Bowl. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Linebackers matter. It's all about the D-line. Well, now you got it, and they're not doing nothing.
Yep. You got what you wanted. Everybody wanted defense. You got what you wanted, so you can't be mad about it. But now you see, because we didn't emphasize on getting linebackers. I'm talking about studs at linebacker. Malcolm Rodriguez is okay, but you know what I'm saying? You know right now that Malcolm Rodriguez can't do it by himself. We need some dogs at linebacker. And we've been preaching this stuff for years, man. We've been preaching this for years. This ain't just happened just yesterday.
Nope.
We've been talking about linebackers for the longest, and to let them guys run for 321 yards, man. Come on, dog. You can't be serious, man.
The reality is this, and I want to make this known to Foot Clan and everybody listening. I am not actively saying that we're back to square one. I've never said that this whole entire stream. I never said that. What I said is every game that I look at that we lose seems to fall on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know how you win a game when you can break off 15, 20 yards a pop, a carry. I don't know how you win those games.
You know what I envision, Luke, and everybody in the chat there, is the San Francisco 49ers defense in Detroit. Look what they're doing there. That defense is just so good. It doesn't matter what the offense does. They are just shutting people down. They got stud linebackers. Their defensive line is stout. Great back end. That's what we need to do here in the offseason is upgrade some of these positions. And I think you can do that. But we got to get a linebacker. Linebacker has got to be a priority. I understand people undervalue this position, but we need one bad. We need one really, really bad. They are our safeguard for getting crushed in the run game.
No doubt, Mike. When you look at what the 49ers are doing with their linebackers, that's what you kind of envision for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
To have Greenlaw and to have Fred Warner, both of those guys are pretty much in the middle, anchoring that defense. We need that in Detroit. We need some athletic linebackers in Detroit that can cover and that can come up and support the run as well. And if we got to send one of those guys in on a blitz, they can get the job done. Detroit needs linebackers. This is
definitely not all you need.
This has been the biggest problem, man, for a very, very long time, man.
So that fat man says Rodrigo was fine. The line in front of him got dominated. It didn't matter if we had 3 Ray Lewis out there. I just don't understand the push to work on linebacker. Let me break it down to you.
Oh my goodness.
There were plays where the defensive line didn't get in the way, and he just got bodied by the lineman. In fact, there was one particular clip where I saw him not only get bodied, the dude carried him to the ground and buried him. And I went, it happens. He can't really get off blocks. Not at his size. It's not a thing, right? And then 2, you just got to ask yourself a question. If you upgrade it, like right now, if you had a chance to get Fred Warner, would you take him over Rodriguez? The answer is yes, right? Right? If you had a chance to get Greenlaw, would you take him over Rodriguez?
Yes.
We'll say yes, right? And so if you had a chance to get Bobby Wagner right now over Rodrigo, would you take him? Yes. And so now when you start to do that, you can see that you can upgrade from him. You can upgrade. My dilemma is it's too many years of us not having defense be really addressed. Go ahead, Mike.
Mhm.
Let me throw it in you a different sense. Remember the last couple of games, obviously not this past game, but we seen Alex Anzalone look like freaking Thor running back there when they would do, when the offense would do a jet sweep, he'd come out of nowhere and lose them for 3 yards. Imagine having that all the time, where you having stud linebackers can do that. It really changes how an offense has got to attack. It really does. And then it forces a team to be one-dimensional. Telling you, look what San Francisco is doing. That's exactly what you want to have. Now, I seen in a previous comment, it's not all defense. Obviously, you got to have an offense. But you got to have some sort of a defense. If you want to win these games in the cold, in December, when your offense is going to struggle every once in a while, a defense generally can travel. And it will really help the team out if you can get a defense that can play all 17 weeks with good depth. You're going to lose players here and there to injury. That's what we need here in Detroit. And that's what we got to do in the offseason is attack this defense.
Yeah, and when you look at it, too, fellas, when you look at it, Aiden Hutchinson is a good player, and I love Hutch. But at the same time, Hutch is not the same type. Hutch is not the same type of player that Sue was when Sue was a rookie on our team. When Sue was on his team, he gave us that toughness, he gave us that meanness, and that's what we need. And that's what we're consistently saying out of Hutch, is that we want Hutch to give us that. But right now, he's not consistently being able to do that because he doesn't have any play from the middle. He doesn't have guys in the middle that can create that push.
But you know what's funny though? I think even if you took this same defensive line and you still had Sue and you didn't have no play from the outside, Sue still performs. Yep. This is one of the reasons why I was saying that he should have 10 sacks, because this is what I understand about it. I've talked to people. I've talked to people that played in this league that's been on that level, right? And I've talked to them and I said, listen, I'm just asking questions. And I said, listen, how important is it for a rookie edge rusher or a pass rusher to get 10 sacks? He said, in most of our minds, this wasn't just one guy, it's multiple guys. They said in most of our minds, when you hear that word 10 or double-digit sacks, he's a problem. And so that changes the way you want to play teams. And that's why I was like, he got to get 10.
And that's not disrespect to Aiden Hutchinson either, because Ndamukong Suh is a Hall of Fame talent. Fair, this dude is a beast, man.
But my issue is this. He doesn't bring that same Sue thing to the table. However, I'm not knocking it. Now, Foot Clan, I do disagree with you. He says, you know how you win these games. You keep building your D line. They've invested so much in this damn D line. They're going to invest more in the D line. And at some point, we need to address the linebackers and secondaries. And I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying that it's got to be all defense, but I'm saying based on what I saw coming out of his first year with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, I felt that if you address the defense with the offense already making these strides, we can really cause some havoc with a favorable schedule. And we was unable to do that, which bothered me. Now, he says you could take a linebacker, but you don't need elite level linebackers in this moderate NFL. I disagree.
I totally disagree.
I disagree because I think when you look at the teams who have those elite linebackers, they're not losing because they have elite linebackers. There's other parts of the game that's missing. But when you talk about elite linebacker play, it changes a lot of stuff. It really does. I mean, look how the Bears look without Roquan Smith right now.
They look like shit.
Right? Like it's that one move. And so I mean, I get it. Craig Ferguson says Panthers look like they had Barry and Walter Payton running the ball. You sure that wasn't them? Like, did we check the license plate? Like, seriously.
Yeah, and we definitely need a cornerback too, a CB. Yeah. Because what I was seeing out there, and it's been a little bit like this, where we're just getting beat one-on-one. It's not even close. And if you don't have somebody that can match the speed or a number one wide receiver, you're going to be in a world of hurt.
Now, listen, I would say this. Mr. 86 also brought this up earlier where he said, I could understand the 320 yards. It's the way they did it. It was right up the gut. And then he says, we was in the game until Goff dropped the ball. I personally think, based on what I saw, it was a bad snap from Ragnow. That wasn't on Goff. I think that was just the best. To me, the ball did not look like it got up high enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looked like to me. I could be wrong.
I understand the turnover, and a lot of people are blaming Goff for that game. the defense is what failed us in that game, man. when you see a hole that's 10 feet wide in the running back, and then no one's even tackling. The tackling was atrocious. I'm like, what is going on? It was not Jared Goff. There's nothing that you can do when you got a 10-foot wide hole, and when the running back's going, the people don't even tackle. I mean, it looked like Derrick Henry out there on steroids.
Man.
Like, it was terrible.
Listen, the crazy part is they weren't even attempting to they weren't trying to stiff arm nobody. They weren't trying to juke. They just ran straight. They ran straight. They ran straight. They didn't spin move, nothing. There was none of that. They just ran straight. And I'm like, you're running RPOs with Sam Darnold. Like, this is what's throwing me off. It's Sam Darnold. Now, Hungry Pants says, I want him to at least get more than Charles Harris did, and not by adding up a bunch of half sacks.
Right. I agree with that.
Don't get me started. I can't talk about Bruno. Y'all didn't know about this. I can't talk about Bruno. I was real close. I started to show off with this. Wake up! Wake up! I started to show off.
I remember that movie.
Because you can't like I got people mad. They go, you can't be right. You can. Everything I've been saying has still been happening. And when I'm wrong, I'm like, I'm wrong about it. I simply said I'm not excited to take a receiver that high who's hurt. If that motherfucker was healthy, great.
Right.
I got a little. And they need to utilize him. You drafted him. You need to use him.
And
they need to.
I pointed that out, Mike, and I said my real issue is this. You traded up 20 spots, right? This is what I told the people. All right. I said, you traded up 20 spots. You was all excited about it. I said, but look, this man played 8 snaps his first game back in December. You might as well not even play his ass at that point. But 8 snaps, he gets 1 target, and he almost gets a catch out of bounds. Okay, right? Then the second game, 13 snaps. 2 targets, catch 1 for 41 on a busted coverage. Call it what it is. They just blew the coverage.
I disagree with you, Mark. They activated him. If you're going to activate him and you're going to take a roster spot away from somebody else, then you should actually use him. If you're not going to activate him, I totally, fully understand if you want to redshirt him. I'm fine with it, but you're taking a roster spot away from somebody else that could actually help you out. And right now they're not using him. Do not use him for a decoy. It's just a waste. Don't use him. It's a waste of another player. You have 11 players starting an offense. If you're just going to use him for a decoy, you're reducing the offense. And you got Ben Johnson, who's creative, who can open it up for somebody else, like a Tom Kennedy or a Quintez Cephas if he's healthy, or another running back or something else out there. But if you activate him and this is his 4th game, then you got to use him more than 0 targets. But if you're not, you want a red shirt on, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with that.
Which is what I thought they were going to do, which is why I kept telling people he's not. I'm like, listen, I'll be surprised if he played. People kept telling me he ahead of schedule. I said, I disagree. I don't think he ahead of schedule. I said, he's not going to play until November. He didn't play until December. I was wrong about that. No problem. Wrong. He played later than I thought. Okay, shit. But now I'm trying to figure out, how do you get him on the field for 8 snaps and all the plays he ran were streaks? You get him on the field for 13 snaps. And again, all streaks and fades. No slant.
He's an elite route runner. Okay? Everybody just assumes this guy is just a Jackson who goes for the 50-yard bomb. No, he's an elite route runner. He gets open in the holes, and he can take it to the house anytime he has it in his hands. So use his route running skills. He can take a slant to the house.
He can take a crossing route to the house. He got that capability.
That's what's blowing my mind. When you go to the games and you look through each one, they're not calling those routes. He took 13 snaps in this game on offense, and even the 1 target he got was a deep bomb.
Yep.
The game against Carolina, he took 11 snaps, and the 1 route he got was a deep bomb. Now, let me go to my.
If you watch his film, you'll see he's not just this long distance guy, this Jackson. He's an elite route runner. Yeah, that's what he is, and he finds the hole, he takes it to the house. Yes, he is. He's better to me than Devonta Smith,
Yeah, he can
but
run
he's
the
got
same
those
routes.
same capabilities. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
like he is not just the Jackson guy. He's not. I'm gonna just go 50-yard bomb. No, man, this guy
Yeah.
can go all over the field and kill you.
Now, another thing that irritated me, because when I watched him at Alabama, most of the big runs he had were crossing routes and slants. They
Yes.
were underneath routes or like screen plays that he took the distance. For some reason, it's just not. It's not clicking. I don't know how you make sense of that, right? Like if I think they cut Tom Kennedy for him to come back.
Right. And Tom Kennedy was balling.
Right. So I'm like, so what do you? And this is what my issue with Brad Holmes was. You drafted this guy now for 2023. Cool.
Yep.
But you're still trying to double down on Goff, as if he can get the ball to him. You know.
And that's what I think. I think right there, Luke, you just said something. I think right there, that's where it's going to kind of be an issue at. If he can't get J-Mo the ball, there's going to be some issues right there. And J-Mo is going to continue to be angry and mad because he's not getting the ball.
He's
and they're only
mad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They only utilizing him to run up the seam, go routes and flies. You can't use him that way. He can do it all. Use that man.
Now I got a theory. It's not proof. I'm gonna say it again. It's not proof. I don't have no proof of it. It's a theory. I don't think he's fully healed. I don't think he.
If he's not, then they shouldn't have brought him on the field.
They shouldn't have brought him.
They shouldn't have.
I think it was a mistake. I think
if that is the case, that is bullshit.
I think they wanted to give him some confidence, and that's why they put him on the snap count. Because think about it, right? If you look at the history. Pascal, when he came back from injury, his snap counts went down significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Every time a player comes back who is hurt, they put him on the snap count. Excuse me. They put him on the snap count pitch, like a pitch count, right? And you look at J-Mo, they're not calling these intricate routes for him to run and get open. It's just one route. Take your ass and run straight, get his confidence up, and we'll go from there. They're not calling him to do all the other integral stuff, and I think it's because they think he's hurt. Now, he already pissed because he's
better not be the case.
But see, that's what I'm saying. I think that is the case. And if that is, you're right. He should not be on the freaking field. Now, Dr. Detroit said there was no linebackers to take. Now, mind you, before we made that trade, because I had to go and look at these players. Before we made that trade, we had the 32nd pick. And if that would have been the case, I'd have bought it. But Jordan Davis came off the board directly after Jameson. I don't know if they would have been able to run through him, but that's not the point. I don't care about Kyle Hamilton. You didn't take him. You didn't take Jordan Davis. But you said there was no linebackers. Quay Walker was taken in 22nd. Right? All right, he was taken 22nd. You go down some more. Let's keep going down just a little bit more. You got Devin Lloyd at 27. Right? Like we can go and look at each one of these people. You get to the second round, right? You can get to the second round. We can talk about who's taken off the board at that point. You took Pascal. Obviously, they took David Ojabo, a hurt player. I ain't mad at you there. But who was still left after that? Jaquan Brisker. Don't tell me Jaquan Brisker ain't doing more for his team than what Pascal and Jameson is doing. Don't tell me that. That safety has been phenomenal for the Bears. But we don't need safeties, and safeties and linebackers don't matter. Not my business. But let's keep going. See who's still available, because there was nobody there. Troy Anderson wasn't there. Nope. After we picked. Drake Jackson ain't there. Nope. Nick Bonito ain't there. Nope. Brian Osmo ain't there. Nope. Chad Muma, he's not there. Right? Christian Harris is not there.
Harris.
Nakobe Dean is not there.
Terrell Bernard.
Like, I just keep going. Right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have taken a linebacker at 2. I see Dr. Detroit in there, but you have opportunities to take. Here's the deal. This offseason, we got to get linebacker. You know, I could sit here and debate what they should have done last year. There's nothing I can do. I don't have a time machine, but they need to fix it this offseason. It's about time.
Yeah.
Just get there and get a linebacker free agency, and I think you draft one too. Just fix this damn position so we can stop bitching about it.
And again,
Yeah. You could have
again,
like you
tired
said,
of
you could have took Channing Tindall or Leo Chanel. You
that's
could
what
have
I'm
took
saying.
those guys.
You
You had options.
right? And on top of that, right? I want to make this clear. Not only do you got to take a linebacker, but enough of these taking linebackers super late because they're just contributors. They're not multipliers. They're not game changers. They're contributors. And you had a chance to still take Tindu or Chanel. You could have. I would have took anything at this point.
I would have took any of those guys. Yeah.
Brandon Smith, obviously, he got hurt for the Panthers and didn't play, but I would have took Brandon Smith.
Yeah.
You know what's pissing me off, man? Is watching Christian Watson do well in Green Bay.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Because I made this statement when the draft went down, and I said, I just don't see why you need to trade up 12 spots to get a receiver who's hurt. And people say he was elite. And I said, I get that.
I get that part.
But I'm watching Dotson do really well for them. I'm watching Pickens for Pittsburgh do really well.
I would have took George Pickens.
Like you could have took so many other receiver options that would have helped your team because receivers are not hard to find.
They're dime a dozen.
They're not hard to find.
You know what we should do? We should trade everything we got for Russell Wilson.
Was not prepared for that one, Mike.
It could be worse, man. We could be in Denver right now.
I was totally not prepared for that one. When you said that,
Hey, we could have took Michael McFadden, the linebacker out of Indiana.
They said wasn't nobody left. I'm just going through Sean so you can see, right? Like there's no excuse that can be.
DeMarco Jackson, a guy that was, man, come on, man, a guy that was with them at the Senior Bowl.
I expect them to upgrade
all of those players at the Senior Bowl, man. We passed on all of those players at the Senior Bowl. I can't believe it, man.
Listen,
we ain't passing on them this time. Look, I think we're going to get a nice corner, a nice LB, a defensive lineman. I think this defense is going to have a lot more talent on it. You know, us talking next year this time.
I'm only speaking on this because it is another loss that I directly attribute to the defense.
Yeah.
Even if they lost that fumble, right? Defense has to not let a team pick up first downs on 3rd and 28, on 1st and 42. You got to stop. We were giving up big play at the big play in the pass and on the ground, and it got uglier and uglier by the moment.
You know what I said when I was watching that drive, guys? I was looking at that first drive, the Panthers, and I was thinking in my head, oh, fuck, this is going to be a long day.
Dude, when they came out the opening drive, bro, and I'm like, damn, you're just going to buzz it. I'm like, you know what? Lucky play. Right? Like, I swear you should have saw me. I was super optimistic. I was like, lucky play. They did it the second time. I said, God damn it. Okay, you know what? Clearly, I was going through an emotional roller. I said, clearly, we got to settle down. They did it a third time. I said, I'll be damned. What is going on here?
The eggnog, man. They got lit. Got lit the night before.
I'm thinking to myself, what the? Okay, you know what? We're going to come out this drive. We're going to score. We come out. We were struggling to score, too. I'm like, okay, but we scored. Bam, we scored. We get a stop. I say, good job, defense. You finally got a stop. And half of that was because they were missing, like, drop pass. I think the tight end dropped one, which gave him a chance for the 3 and out. He would have had a first and then some. And then another receiver dropped one. So I'm like, okay, cool. They fucking up now. Finally, it has righted itself. First play, boom, run. Like, what is this?
I'm hoping this is a one-off. Every year, there's always a game. Every team just drops a giant dump, and I'm really hoping that this is the game and we get back on track versus the Bears because that was the worst game I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
10-yard haul, boom, 40 yards.
I hope Fields don't run for 200 on us, man.
But ironically, though.
But you want to know what? Their pass game, you know they're averaging 130 yards passing a game, the Chicago Bears. So If they run for 200, we should win.
Now, I will tell you this. I will tell y'all this. If you look at the Bears' first game, we didn't have Houston playing. He's the secret weapon this time around. Because I hate to break this to you, he's going to pass Aiden Hutchinson or tie him in sacks after the season is over. It's coming down. And I give Brad Holmes, James Houston. I give Brad Holmes all the credit for that one. That got move.
James Houston, a dog, man.
Yeah. You didn't even know you had that dog on your roster. You didn't even know.
I didn't even. Listen. They say he's going to be special teams. I took their word for it. When they had to put him in and realize quickly, like, we got to
we got
like this dude. You put a shiver down my leg.
Like you didn't know. Now I will say
we got something here.
I will say this too. The only thing that I'm just trying to get our fan base to understand, is if you go back to 2018 and just work your way on up and ask yourself, based on offense, defense, and special teams, what was the worst part of this team? If you in 2022 and say that the worst part of the team is defense, now you understand why my frustration with Brad Holmes has persisted. Because we have already invested so much in offense, and I'm like, we need to really start tackling the defense. We need to.
I think we missed DeAndre Levy. I think we miss. I think we miss. Like we used to have Levy and Justin Tulloch.
And it was Stephen Tulloch.
Stephen Tulloch.
What was Justin's name? Justin. I'm forgetting Justin.
Stephen Tulloch.
Yeah,
DeAndre Levy.
Durant.
And I think it was Tahir Whitehead with him, and then Whitehead was the weaker of the three. Jason Durant.
Yeah. So
Justin Durant.
We had Justin Durant. We had Tulloch. We had Levy. But my thing is we need to do something to fix this. Now, to Zaquay, I get you. He's like hindsight. This wasn't hindsight for me. For me, this was just me saying, look, we didn't need this receiver right here. If they took Hutchinson and they went out and added Davis, we would have still got that A grade, right? Because you would have been showing up the D line, and then you come in the second round, you take a linebacker. I don't care who the line. You could have took any linebacker, and they would have went.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought they were going to do. Is take the linebacker.
I thought they were going to take Devin Lloyd when they traded up.
Hey man, Luke, when they didn't take the linebacker, man, I start swinging in the air like, hey, you remember my man Trey on Friday?
Oh yeah.
I started doing that. I started doing that in the crib, like,
I'm not calling J-Mo bust, man. I don't know what's going on here, but
no,
you gotta. He's got to get more. It's not his fault that he's not on the field more than 14 snaps.
Yeah,
like, God dang. Dude ain't even had opportunity. It's not his fault.
Right.
Because if he was on any other team, he'll be taking the top off the defense.
Dr. Detroit says Luke want Ray Lewis type fellas. No, what I want is I would take Vander Esch at linebacker.
Right.
I need somebody who is going to be able to play consistent.
Yep.
That's all I'm asking. When I watch
at that linebacker spot,
Elrod do a lot of things, but a lot of things that he do don't matter to me. Why? Because a lot of it is after the play has been positive already. So it's like, okay, cool. And when he makes the negative plays, I'm excited. But I'm telling you, I watched it all season.
Hey, Luke.
Yeah.
And you know why teams like the 49ers have a good defense? Because they have all phases. That's something that we always talked about.
Right. I've been preaching
all phases. We don't got all phases. We don't have all phases.
3 levels. You gotta have you gotta have D-line, linebackers, and safety. And
safety.
DB. You don't have that. If you
it's the same concept with our offense. Look, we got all phases of our offense squared away. We got a really good offensive line. We got hella wide receiver depth. Our tight ends are making plays. We got a quarterback that can distribute the football. And we got some running backs. And just flip it over. That's what we got to get on defense. What do we got on defense? Not like we do on offense. It's not the
same. You see how I just got real quiet. Like, you're not going to get me to lie like that. You know, I'm not trying to piss somebody. Shout out to my man JT Sports over there.
Hey, what up, JT?
This young brother out here doing a lot of work. He back home from college. I told him don't have too much fun over there. I had to give him some of them college stories. I went to an HBCU, so you don't get me started now. You know? But
hey, we do need a right guard too, man. Because like Big V hasn't been up in there, and I'm tired of having a turnstile over there. That's starting to get annoying.
Mike, I put this out there, and I want you. I told people, I said, you look at the number of draft picks we got right now. He's going to try to fill. He's going to try to fill the guard spot. He's going to try to fill the tight end spot, and he's going to try to fill another receiver because Chark is going to leave, and he's going to want to add another receiver. So he's going.
Would you pay Chark? I got. Would you pay him now?
No.
Depending, how much would you pay him if just say if you were going to? Because I think you're expecting to get like 18 million.
I mean, you got to understand. He got. It's going to be hard to try to tell him to take 5, and he just got 10.
Yeah. I think I'd pay him. I think I'd pay him.
I need that discount, bro.
I'll pay him 12 million. I think he's shown enough, but I'm not going to go to Kenny Galladay money. That's for sure.
Hey, no, Mike 11.
Yeah, I'm saying like
I'll do $5, man, if I get it that way.
No, and again, I want to say this again. I am not calling J-Mo a bust. My issue was, given that we had a favorable schedule, given that we had issues with the defense dating back to 2018, I would have rather we use that resource on a receiver. If you're going to trade it to get a receiver who's healthy that can help you right now. And if he can't, then take something on defense that can definitely help you right now. Because I can assure you, if they had took Aiden Hutchinson and took Jordan Davis, y'all would have lost your mind. If they would have took Aiden Hutchinson and took Devin Lloyd, y'all would have lost your mind.
I wouldn't have. I'd have lost my mind in a good way. I love Devin Lloyd.
And if you're going to take an undersized linebacker, why not take Nakobe Dean, who was the best linebacker in the country? Why not take him? Now I know that Nakobe Dean is on the bench with the Eagles. That's because they already got 2 solid linebackers.
They got people.
They got T.J. Edwards and they got my man that was a free agent, Kazir White. So they can slowly implement Nakobe Dean. But imagine if we had Nakobe Dean right there instead of Malcolm Rodriguez. Now, no knock to what Malcolm Rodriguez has been able to do, but at the same time, I still think that Nakobe Dean is a better linebacker than he is.
Ghetto Pat says Brad Holmes going to draft an injured player in the 1st and 2nd round, guaranteed.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
He better not do that.
Hey, do you know that Malik Hooker? You're gonna be a Detroit Lion, then, man. We're gonna get Malik Hooker. Who else is in here?
Malik. I think Malik.
Oh, you talking about Hendon Hooker?
Hendon Hooker, yeah. He gonna make it until at least the 2nd or 3rd round, right? And
3rd round. I say 3rd round now.
Yeah, he'll make it to at least the 2nd or 3rd. 3rd, more than likely, probably the lowest he go. But at that point, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would draft him.
Yeah. Why not?
We gotta look at. I gotta look at the injury reports from college and then get my mock draft going. So
why not? Why not have somebody back there to groom?
I just want somebody to make the current quarterback feel uncomfortable. That's all.
Exactly. I feel that, Luke. I feel that.
Well, Hooker's not going to do that, dog, because he's going to be on the IR.
Whenever he come back. You want the quarterback to be on the hot seat, man, all the time. Never getting comfortable. I don't want you comfortable.
Foot Clan 004 says Raw Detroit really just said Dean is a better linebacker than Rodrigo.
Yes. And I'll tell you to your face. Yes. Tell you to your face, homie.
I just don't think people realize that Rodrigo is somebody that you can definitely upgrade from, and it wouldn't hurt your team.
You're saying that because Rodrigo is playing, but Nakobe Dean is a better linebacker than him, bro, and that's facts.
Hey, I'm just saying. Look, my man JT said, "Now y'all don't want Hendon Hooker. Y'all don't want me to become a Lions fan for real." I'm just saying. We took a receiver 12th overall, and he got the chance to sit. Why not? Why not? At this point, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. The Lions are gonna have another frustrating season, and then that's when all the fans are gonna say, "Get rid of everybody." Watch. That's what they're gonna do.
I think they're gonna be really good next year. I think the Lions are going to compete for the NFC North. I think they overperformed a little bit this year, and I love it. That means that the coaching. I think with more talent on defense, in which I think we're going to get, Man, like imagine if we actually had like a top 15 defense next year with this offense. Imagine the possibilities. We wouldn't start in 1-6. I can tell you that.
I just look at it like this, right? I can tell you right now, we're not starting 1-6 if he starts to put real energy and focus into the defense. Now, again,
agree.
people keep on making this excuse of saying that we didn't have the cap space and stuff, but I remember all the reports. We had the 6th highest cap going into free agency with $36 million. I'm gonna see how much cap we got this year around and see how it's being spent.
$60 million. We got $60 million, and then you got they're probably gonna release Big V, and I think that frees up almost $10 million.
Almost 10? Okay, so
almost.
Look,
yeah.
So you get rid of him, you get rid of a few other people that give you some more cap space. I want to see how you allocate it. If they re-sign Alex Anzalone, okay. Listen to me. Now I want listen. Let me turn the mic up on this one. I want y'all to listen to me. If they re-sign Alex Anzalone, you're going to see the biggest fire Brad Holmes campaign you ever seen in your entire life. Because at that point, I would have a hard time understanding how can you retain that talent. I have a hard time understanding it. Like, and it was so bad that he didn't even have to fight for his position. Like Alex Anzalone, what other teams could he go on and not have to fight for his position?
Yeah,
everything can be upgraded. That's
he would be a backup at best. He would be a backup on somebody's team.
He played besides last week though. The last couple weeks before that, he's played well, but we still need to upgrade the position. We need to get ourselves. I would love to get Roquan Smith. I've been preaching about him for over a year now. I'd love to get him and maybe Campbell in the draft.
I'd be so happy.
Oh my God.
I'd be so happy.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Luke, let me tell this to Foot Clan. Hey, Foot Clan, just because Rodriguez is starting, that does not make him better than Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean is playing under some guys that are pretty decent linebackers.
The only reason is because people is hurt. Let's just be honest.
Hey, TA, explain this. TA is a Arizona Cardinals fan. Tell him about the situation of linebackers over there and why it doesn't really matter if you're not playing. It doesn't mean you're not talented because they got some players that wasn't starting right off rip.
Just like with Isaiah Simmons and you got Zaven Collins. Zaven Collins, both of those guys suffered. You know, they kind of did them both the same way. They kind of brought them in slow. And Zaven Collins was a beast. And when I saw Zaven Collins in the preseason shooting through gaps, I was like, man, this dude is going to be nice. But because they brought him along so slowly, it's taking him a little bit longer than what you expect for him to be at. And the same thing with Isaiah Simmons. You know, Isaiah Simmons made one boneheaded mistake, and he let the running back run for like 75 yards off a little catch and go. But at the same time, you saw the progression of him starting to learn the game and get better. And now he's a better linebacker now than what he was in the beginning. So you always have to be able to have a little time and a little patience with some of these players.
If I'm not
Detroit fan, man, I agree. The whole defense needs to be upgraded everywhere. I have no problem upgrading any position if there is a player that's a better player than one we have. I'm not going to argue about that. It's just the fact that we haven't addressed linebacker in freaking ever. I mean, we've only spent late round draft picks, and we've spent. I think that's what the complaint in here for at least Luke and TA is we've spent a lot of draft capital on high-end talent on the defensive line and cornerback, even at safety in the 3rd round. But where is that linebacker at one point? Since DeAndre Levy, that you haven't really addressed that position in a top 3 rounds. It's kind of what they're upset about.
Now, I want to point this out because I think I don't want people to get off topic, and I want people to understand certain things. Like, don't subscribe to things that you haven't did research on. And here's what I mean by that. This is the roster of the Eagles right now. Okay. This is their actual roster. This is who the starters are. Kaiser White, a guy that I pounded the damn floor for, but we're gonna be quiet.
We should have got him.
I did as well. I wanted him bad.
Right.
A great coverage linebacker.
And when he came out, I wanted TJ Edwards, but again, we're gonna leave that alone. Okay. Like I said, my shit aged well. Stay with me. All right. Here's your starting linebackers right here. Hassan Riddick, TJ Edwards, Kaiser White. Now stay with me. Who is Nakobe Dean
Reddick is
supposed to
a
start
beast.
over?
I don't know.
No, I'm serious.
Reddick, who is
Yeah.
one of the best sack LBs in the league.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. We're making these excuses to up our players without being fair. Now, I take that same argument and I ask the fan base, of those linebackers, who is Malcolm Rodriguez starting over?
Nobody.
Because and this is my point. When you look at Malcolm Rodriguez, if you went through every roster and looked at their linebacking core, Malcolm Rodriguez ain't starting. He's not.
No, he's not.
I hate to break the news to you.
He's not.
And I gotta say, it's not even a hate on Rodrigo. I think he's doing great for his draft status. Like this guy, we're talking about a late round rookie starting for a team that has issues on the defensive line in the secondary. What the hell else do you expect him to do?
And because our linebackers were so trash, we had to start him. Yep. We had no choice but to give him a shot.
Now watch this. To the people who hated Isaiah Simmons, because I heard a lot of this talk too, and I told you Isaiah Simmons was going to be a better player than Okudah. And as it stands, he is. I'll challenge anybody on that. That first season, he only took 34% of the snaps, finally got 7 starts, still had 2 sacks, still had tackles for a loss, still had quarterback hits, still had an interception. Came back the next year, they let him start all the games. All he do is go out and get 105 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, a sack and a half, 7 pass deflects, 4 forced fumbles.
Yep.
The interception. Like, I don't know what else y'all want from people.
And this year they got him playing all around now. Man, they got him playing safety, nickel slot. They got him playing everywhere this year.
Hey, here's a problem. First off, we got the Watch NFL Free V on here. But here's the real problem, folks. We got Will Harris starting on our team. Enough said.
That's all you gotta say. That's all you gotta say. So again, they hear me talk about these players and they think I'm negative on them. I'm making the point to say, get out the box and think. He says Rodrigo's best attribute is being assessment sound and physical. What else do you need a linebacker to do? Pick 6, 10 sacks. Here's the thing. He was taken 6th overall for a reason. And it's because he would not have been a starting linebacker in this league, let alone his rookie year, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is this. The same way we do that with him and talk about him and say, well, he's a 6th-round pick, we can talk about all the other draft picks when y'all bring that point up. And I'm just telling you, it's not going to be pretty when you do that, because now we got to talk about some real true things like, why is Aiden Hutchinson disappearing in big games?
Yeah, we need Hutch, man. We need him. We need him.
Like that first big run of the game, he lost contain, and I don't even know what the hell he did. It just, I don't know. But he's going to get better. I expect him to be better, and I just want to be fair in that assessment. Because he's 5'11", Luke, no one likes that size and played in the Big 12, bro. Come on. I've done this about 100 times, people. Okay? His height is not why his ass is not his height, people. Okay?
Yeah.
Devin Bush was taken 10th overall. It's not his height.
Yeah.
Nakobe Dean was drafted higher than him. I can name so many people who 5'11" who was taken higher than Malcolm Rodriguez, and it had nothing to do with height. If you can play, nobody gives a shit about it. Tavon Austin came into the league as a 5'6", 5'7" receiver and got drafted high. Nobody cares about your height like that, bro. They just don't.
Malcolm Rodriguez is starting because he's the best one we got on this team right now.
That's shout out to him, man.
Yeah, I love what he's doing, man. I appreciate what he's doing. I definitely do.
Shout out to Joe Lewis 313. He says your 6th-round pick is your starter. That proves you needed a linebacker. I don't know how else you can make it make sense. Oh my God! Look, JT. I'm sorry. I forgot you still a fan. My bad. But again, it says then why didn't Devin Lloyd go 1st round? Devin Lloyd did go 1st round. What are you talking about? Devin Lloyd's a first round pick. You talking about the Jacksonville linebacker? If that's what you're talking about, he's a first round pick. I don't, huh? What are you
And
talking
Quay
about?
Walker too went in the first round of the Packers.
Yeah, Devin Lloyd. I thought we was taking Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd was picked 27 by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He was my number 1 rated LB, man. Dude was
Yeah, I would
dude's a
have
monster.
definitely took Devin Lloyd. I don't even lie to you. I thought that was what the Lions were trading up for. I thought they were going to either trade up for Devin Lloyd or somebody of a safety type of player. I thought that's what they were going to do. I did think that, but I was wrong, and they came up and got J-Mo, even though I think that they probably should have went with Devin Lloyd because they know that we need a stud at linebacker. We need an athletic linebacker.
But we get one this offseason, man. We're getting one that we got 2 more games left without getting a LB and a corner, man. We need a corner really bad.
Man,
I can't. If I see Will Harris out there on defense after this year, starting due to injury or a Mike Hughes or something, I think I'm gonna lose my shit. I think I'm gonna lose my shit because we need a competent player out there besides those guys.
I think it's gonna be some changes coming. At least that's I'm hoping that. But to me, it's a day late. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's a day late.
We can't do nothing about it now. But in 2 weeks, the season's over unless we make the playoffs. But I really do believe we're going to upgrade the defense as a whole. The defense is an absolute whole. I think it's going to get massively upgraded. And we got to get free agents. It's not just the draft. We have to get free agents in here.
Right. And my biggest thing is this, fellas. My biggest concern with the Lions.
Oh wait, hold on. I had to cut you off. I want. He said that. I said, why did Devin Lloyd go in the first round? He's an athletic monster and he's big as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Right.
No. That's not why he went in the first round. That's not.
No, that's not.
No.
He's great. He's great.
His tape showed and spoke for itself, right? Like his tape, the same way why Parsons went. His tape spoke for itself. When your tape jump off the screen, you're going to go in the first round, right? It's been some bums who don't been picked in the first round because they taped in college jumped off the screen. It wasn't because of their height. It wasn't, right? Because we've seen short receivers be picked up. We've seen short running backs be picked up. We've seen like now. If you had told me that a tight end was drafted low because he was short, okay, cool, I can follow that logic. But linebacker is one of those positions where you can cover and you can tackle. They don't give a shit.
We're not drafting a tight end, dog. Don't.
I'm just saying, but Steven
man. We can't be doing that tight end.
Just pay attention.
No.
Not my idea. But again, people, this is just my reaction to what happened. I feel that we have neglected the defense. I feel that we have acted as if though we can survive without it, and it keep rearing its ugly head in the worst times.
Look, you know what? You know what's been the biggest problem for the Detroit Lions? The biggest problem in Detroit is this. Detroit, we continue to draft the same positions over and over and over. We continue to keep drafting guys in the trenches that have not panned out. That's what I'm talking about. Like guys like Levi, you don't draft hurt players, stuff like that. And then with the linebacker, like we should be further along than what we are.
Yeah.
Jelani Tavai, guys like Jelani Tavai, he should have.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with Quinn Trisha really effed us.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that guys that we drafted, these guys haven't panned out. So we take these guys, and after 2 or 3 years, they're off the team. We don't have Cal Van Noy no more. We don't have none of these guys. Some of these linebackers that we have taken in the past, they just have not worked with us.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, Quinn Trisha.
For whatever reason.
And again,
thank you, Matt Millen. Thank you, Quinn Trisha, for really hurting this draft, man. I mean, listen, they killed this team, man.
They was allowed to do it because fans subscribe to it takes 3 years BS.
Right.
It don't take 3 years. It's proof right now that it don't take 3 years. We could have easily been number 1 in the division with a few games being different. But when you go and look at all our losses, all of our losses, go and look at them. and ask yourself, where do we lose those games at? And watch you come to the same conclusion I came to: defense.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not mad about Alex Anzalone's stats. I just want upgrade at every position. I think we can upgrade the linebacker position.
Exactly.
I think there's players out there that is better than what's going on. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think we gotta not have an asphyxiation with love for a specific player and just look at it as this player better than the other player. If this is an upgrade, let's get it, because we need upgrades, and that's how you build a roster. I mean, look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Their whole damn freaking team is nothing but an upgrade. God, it's just like that movie Upgrade. Like, everything is good. Like, that's what I want to have.
And again, I'm not knocking the players. I'm telling you that we can upgrade from them. And if you can, like, for example, right? I hate to do this because you got to go to the extreme in most cases to get the point across, and for people to understand that truth go on every level. If you had Patrick Willis in his prime, who would you upgrade? Who were you upgrading him with?
I'm gonna keep Alex Anzalone over. No, I'm just playing, dog.
I'm just saying, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there are certain players that you can look at that's going to be hard to upgrade from. You look at the Lions defense, for the most part, I can upgrade all these fucking people. I can upgrade.
Like, I love Jalen Carter. Everyone knows I have a fascination with him. We're probably not getting him now because of the damn draft, but drafting him is not a knock on Ali McNeil at all.
No, it's not.
It's just this guy is a superior talent, man. Like, you're a monster.
Hey, man, this dude is a Sue 2.0, man. Definitely, man.
And again, you have to find ways to, because right now the Lions got to now win out, right? Which I'm cool with that. I want it to be no other way. You control your destiny. You win out. But imagine if the Lions won this week, beat the Bears, and some of the other teams handled their business, but they didn't. But if they won out these last 3 games, man, it's nothing that nobody can say to them. And let's say they did win against the Panthers, they then beat the Bears, and they lost to the Packers. Well, guess what? They still had a better divisional record than the Packers, and guess what? They would have been ahead of the Packers. But because they lost, now you need the Packers to get another loss. And in that way, if you lose, you can stay ahead of them. But now you also gonna have a problem because that tie that the Giants and Washington got makes you a problem. So you shot yourself in the foot late in the season, and you did it early on, and it's all because of defense. And I'm not even trying to go down the road.
It's not fan stuff. You don't need all pros on the talent. Well, look at, last year's Rams. They're pretty star-studded over there on defense. The whole damn defense, Aaron Donald, they had the cornerback, all pros. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at the star-studded players they have on their defense. Everybody is. Yes, it is about getting top-tier talent, and that's why you go to the draft and you draft them, and they're on a rookie deal, and you don't have to pay them billions of dollars.
And I
want a star-studded team.
Exactly. Hey, Mike, this is no lie. If the Lions gave me the opportunity, gave us 3 the opportunity to revamp this team, bro, I'm telling you, this team would be better. Yeah, it would be better because I know where the holes are at.
And the other part that you got to look at is this. When Foot Clan says, like, we really nitpicking an NFL starting linebacker that was picked in the 6th round, he's not anything special, but for this team, he is heavily needed. Tavai had better measurables and was drafted higher, for fuck's sake. Now, here's the thing. Foot Clan, there's a key point in what you just said that stands out, and I don't know how to highlight it, but I'm going to make sure I highlight it to the people. He's not anything special, which means that he's not anything special. You can upgrade him. If you, I'll give you a perfect example. If I give you a chance right now, you get to have any 2 cards you want, okay? Any 2 cards you want, but one of the cards I'm going to pick, you can pick the other card you want. Here's the card you get to have. You get to have a Prius, and you can say you decide you want a Lamborghini. Are you taking the Prius or the Lamborghini? My heart tells me you can take the Lamborghini.
I'm going to take a Ford Pinto, and then I'm going to say that it's the greatest thing there is.
I'm just saying, it's about you building a roster that reflects an attitude of the coach that gets you wins. And now, we don't have that.
Legion of Boom.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Again, for the record, the reason I don't put these losses on Dan Campbell is because his side of the ball, direct side of his ball, is performing, which is offense. He still has to be a head coach and responsible for the other parts, But if this team was a total debacle and his side of the ball wasn't performing, I'd have been saying fire him. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
We are
Hey,
been on for 2
hey,
hours.
can you
Go ahead.
Can you tell me the star-studded defense we had in 2014? You know, we had, I don't know, Ndamukong Suh, Quandre
Fairley,
Diggs,
Vanderbilt.
Darius Slay,
Yeah.
DeAndre Levy, Vannon Bosch when he was good, Nick Fairley. That's a pretty star-studded defense, and it
Yeah,
resulted
Zeke.
in the number 2. They had
Defense
Ziggy
overall.
Alonso,
Yeah.
and it was the number 2 ranked defense in the NFL.
What
So
is that?
yeah,
we had CJ Mosley, we had Fairley. We had some guys, man, on the team.
But the offense, remember, but the offense at that time was hot garbage. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
We never get both.
We never get both. Yep.
And we
Exactly.
had a chance to do it this year. We've been on for
We
2
have a chance.
hours. I want to get into the final thoughts. I wanted to give y'all my view of the game. I know I made a lot of people upset. Some people said they're gonna unsubscribe from me. I understand if you want to or not. My job is to tell the truth. That's my job. And the truth is evident. And not only did I say the truth, I didn't give my opinion. I gave you proof. Like I showed you through the steps. Like I held your hand and gave proof to what it is. So, Mike, give me your final thoughts for the day, sir.
Hey, y'all want defense, and you're going to get defense this offseason. You're going to get some defense this offseason. I think the future is really bright for the Detroit Lions. You know, I haven't even looked at, what they're potentially going to go after free agency exactly, but just what I'm thinking if I'm Brad Holmes with the money he has and the draft picks we do have, we can be competing for the NFC North next year. Watch out Minnesota. Watch out Green Bay, because Detroit's coming next year for that title.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. He said Tahir Whitehead wasn't even an all-pro talent. Jason Jones was a starting DN, not elite. What year is he talking about? What year is he talking about? The 2014 team?
4 times. I'm about to say 14.
I want to make sure I don't get confused on what year he's referring to, because if you're talking about the 14 team, even though I know we're in final thoughts, I'll go and look it up. But I'm pretty sure that they had some very good linebackers. Like I'm not even making it.
DeAndre Levy.
Right.
They
Yeah,
had some. Like, let me just double check. Case, I'm telling you, ever since I had that thing, I can't say it on here because they don't want you saying it. It messed up my memory, right? So I'm
A guy named DeAndre Levy, just went to the Pro Bowl. He's just one of those killer players that really resulted in Lions defense turning around.
He was the last linebacker that was all pro too. Second team all pro.
Yep.
Did not know that, man. I had to do my research.
So they had Ziggy Ansah, Nick Fairley, and Ndamukong Suh, Jason Jones. Ndamukong Suh had 8.5 sacks that year. Fairley had 1. Ziggy had 7.5. Jason Jones had 5. They linebackers at the end of the season was Ashley Palmer, Tahir Whitehead, who everybody and their mama was hyped about, and that's basically Malcolm Rodriguez at this point, but I can't tell nobody nothing. And then they had DeAndre Levy. They had Darius Slay, Rashawn Mathis, James. I can't even pronounce his last name. Edibo. And then Glover Quinn. Now, who was actually on the roster that year? When it and was out with injury? Let me see. Hold on. Let me go. I gotta scroll down a little bit.
Glover Quinn, man. Miss that guy.
Glover Quinn was a dog. Yeah, he was a dog.
He was a dog, man.
He was a straight up dog.
But see, people don't like to, certain things they don't like to talk about. But I'm just curious as to what he's referring to when it came
That's
to
a pretty
team.
that's damn near good defensive names right there.
Stephen Tulloch started 3 games and he went to go celebrate and tore.
Oh
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he did that jump in the air, and that's what
he tore his ACL.
ACL, yeah.
Yeah.
So they had Stephen Tulloch. So you figure they started linebacking core at the start of the season. Was Stephen Tulloch, DeAndre Levy, and Tahir Whitehead.
That's pretty solid. That's
solid. That was a dogs, man.
Even if you go in to hear Whitehead as the odd guy out, a guy that I was never a fan of and repeatedly said we could upgrade from him, they still had a pretty decent team. But okay. All right, go ahead, man. TA, I'm sorry, Mike, were you done with your final thought?
Hey, man, that 2014 defense. They had a lot of stars in that defense. We just get back to that. We get some studs in this draft and free agency. Look out, Detroit, man. I'm telling you, this team's going to be scary good next year.
Yeah, 100%. And Ghetto Pass says we had dogs on all three levels of that defense in 2014.
And that's what we need. That's what me and Luke has been preaching to you guys.
Yeah,
that's what we need to be successful.
And I don't even care about Pro Bowl players. Pro Bowl can kick rock.
Yeah,
right. I just want solid football players. That's all.
How in the hell did Aaron Donald make the Pro Bowl? I just waited for somebody to play that 2 weeks.
Because I don't know why.
He didn't even play half the season.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
You know, I
remember when TJ Lang made the Pro Bowl? Like, what the hell?
Hey, I'm leaving things alone. TA, give people your final thought.
Hey man, we appreciate all you guys, man. Whether our opinions don't match up or whatever, man. We appreciate you guys for rocking out with Luke on the podcast on today. And we just want to say this, man. We all looking for dogs on the team. We want to get better defensively, and we need to get better on all phases of the defense. We need guys that can ball out on that line. We need guys that's going to be good linebackers, and we need guys that's going to be good in the secondary. And when you mush and you mish that together, man, I'm telling you, the Lions are going to take off. That defense has to be better on all three phases. I remember Warren Sapp said that when he played with the Tampa Bay Bucks, he said the reason why we had a successful defense is because we had myself, we had Simeon Rice, we had Hardy Nicholson, we had Derek Brooks, we had John Lynch, we had Rondé Barber. That's what made us successful. We had guys on all phases of the defense. And that's the same blueprint that the Detroit Lions must have. They must get better on all phases of the defense in order for this Lions team to really excel and take off.
Yeah, 100%, man. I appreciate you and Mike coming through, and I appreciate DMAP Zoom trying to get up in here and stuff, and everybody. Dr. Detroit said, "Yeah, everybody need to chill. It's not that serious. Love you all. Hey, 100%. Sign Michael Mike to replace Jeff Okudah. Damn.
Hey, dog, I'll give you one play and my back go out.
I mean, he said,
"Say, hey, he gonna be like Levi then."
I feel bad for Levi, I don't think that's funny. You got jokes. You don't find that funny. They said that on side. He don't find that funny. But listen, people, I just want to thank y'all all for coming through and rocking with me again. I am not just 100% down on this team. I'm just making the point that we need to start to look deeper into what's really causing the results that we're getting. It is not always going to be the answer you like. It's not going to be the answer that you want. People, I can't end the show unless I do it on a positive note, and it's very simple. This quote coming today is simple. We had a holiday. We got another one coming up. It's one of the biggest days of drinking. And so I won't talk about the definition of responsibility. Responsibility is the job of all of us. That's the quote of the day. Responsibility is the job of all of us. Whatever your obligations are, whatever your duties are, whatever it is that you stepped up to the plate on, it is your responsibility to handle that. You see, the responsibility is the actual response to what your abilities are when it comes to the things you're supposed to handle. And when you find yourself in positions to have responsibility, you are obligated. You have been charged and you have been brought forth to take care of it. So handle that business. If you're going to be out celebrating and having fun, please do not be out there doing anything that you cannot come back from. Keep it responsible. If you're going to be out enjoying your time with your family and friends, remember they're counting on you to be careful so you can get back to them. Whatever you're doing, just keep it 100% responsible and make sure that you follow through on it with a responsible, clear mind. I didn't want to do too deep today because I got some more to talk about tomorrow that's going to piss a few people off. They thought today was bad. But stay tuned for it tomorrow, and we'll definitely get into it. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.